Hey, everyone. This is Dr. Crystal Richardson. So extremely happy to be with you today. And today we're going to talk about monetization momentum. Yes, monetization momentum and mindset momentum. Mindset momentum. What does that actually mean to you? What does it mean to the rest of the world? Those that we interact with, and how it can help us not just to monetize, but to have great impact in the world. Again, my name is Dr. Crystal Richardson here on LIGTV. We are at the Uplift Center Studios, and we're really, really excited about a number of the shows that we already filmed with some of our Billionaire Network. There's some others that we are in contact with, crossing my fingers that they'll be able to come in January to film their series on how they use their mindset to have greater impact and, yes, monetization. And so all of this goes into a lot of what I speak about personally, which is creativity to cash flow. So how we use our mind, how we use our creativity and innovation mindset to make something that's usable in this world, and something that people feel that they need to have, gotta have, not just like, oh, it's an option, like, wow, I really need that in my life. And sometimes it can be a process. Sometimes it can be a product. It can be a system. It can be a book that you've written, something that's tangible. But a lot of times it's how you take people through processes and methodologies that really, really help them to move to the next level in their business and the next level in their life. And so I want to encourage you to find a way to take some notes, and also have where you pick up my book. I think it's down. Let's see, which way should I point? Is it this way? No, this way, right here, down at the bottom, in the bottom corner. The 51 Powerful P's of Public Speaking. So being able to speak, being able to verbalize what it is that you want to share with people is very, very extremely important. The 51 Powerful P's of Public Speaking is not just about speaking on stage, but it's also about doing things like this, whether you want to have a podcast, TV show, radio show, you want to do Facebook Lives, you want to have a meeting with the board of directors of a particular business, you want to have a joint venture, you want to do a presentation for your company, you want to just have one-on-ones with your students, or have a conversation even with your family. Public speaking is all of that. And so when we think about mindset momentum, when we think about monetization momentum, I just kind of like changed the name here. It is where we can use our mind and we can use our skills to really do something great and something big in this world. And sometimes that great and big thing is to just have better processes in place for us to run a more smooth, run smoother functions within our household. Sometimes it's to have where we do better in our business, or with something that we're attempting to launch, or if there's a joint venture, different things of that nature. But sometimes it may just be a mom that wants to have better communication with her family, and she wants to be able to do better for each child. Let's say she has one child, and write down some lessons learned, and have a different mindset for the next child, and on how they handle different things that may come up in the family. Like, these methodologies are things that can be utilized in various areas of life. So it may seem like I'm talking about a number of different examples, but that is the thing, is that these methodologies can be used in a lot of different manners. So what we're talking about today is mindset momentum. And one of the first things, as I mentioned, is also in relation to how we communicate that in our businesses, in our family, in our churches, in our schools, and whatnot. So I'm just going to go ahead and play that related to the commercial related to that book, and we'll be right back to get into mindset momentum. Hey, everybody. My name is Dr. Crystal Richardson here on The World Speaks. We are going to be having people from all across the world share with us on various things that they are doing to make this world a better place, to monetize and have impact in their business. The impact is making the world a better place. The monetization is something that helps them personally, as well as their generational wealth, as well as being able to use that money. As an overflow, I guess, if you will, to give back and to help others. So I talk a lot about give back. I talk a lot about impact because that is what is first and foremost on my mind. And when I have any coaching clients, whoever it is that I'm doing different things with, I make sure that they at least put it on their vision list, their business plans, marketing plans, and whatnot, so that it's there, meaning a give back model. Like, how are we having impact? And so that's something that's very near and dear to my heart that we do. And coming up on any holiday season, it's important for us to also, think about those who are less fortunate so that we can do something just to make their lives a little bit better and brighter. All right. So today we're going to be talking about mindset momentum and impact momentum, monetization momentum. The word is momentum. And what I want to go over with you today is the UVP. Does anybody know what that is? And hopefully, as I mentioned, you have a way of taking notes, the UVP, the unique value proposition. Now, you may have heard those words before, unique value proposition. But for me, those words have a true meaning in the fact that we're talking about what makes us stand out, what makes us unique, what makes what we offer and what we have special enough that someone wants to come and hear more. It's like, oh, tell me more. The oh, tell me more factor. Okay. So the unique value proposition. And why is that important? Well, I'm glad you asked. The reason why it's important is because, like, if you go to the grocery store, there's various, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 types of bread on the shelf, right? But what makes that one specific bread so unique that it speaks to you like, this is the bread that I need to have? Now, carbs, bread, like maybe you shouldn't be eating bread at all. Maybe I shouldn't be eating bread, but I'm just using that as an analogy. And so, for what it is that you are offering in this world, what makes it unique enough? What makes you stand out? So it may be that you have the uniqueness factor, but you don't have the standout factor, and you don't have the value proposition. Like, how valuable can you make this to someone where they want to spend either their time or money to utilize what it is that you have? So there's various factors that we're going to break down. We're talking about mindset momentum. And part of mindset is having a way to use our mind to put towards positive energy and positive thoughts and positive actions from our mind, positive actions into raising, and having momentum in the area that we're looking at in business. So when I say raising, it could be that we want to raise more money. It means raising. It may mean that we want to raise our number of people that are in our business, or the number of volunteers. So raising. There's lots of different things that we could put behind that word raising. So when we talk about momentum, it's raising, it's moving forward. Okay, how are we moving forward in our business and in our life? And so, what are different ways that we can positively affect our mindset to have that momentum? And one of the things that I mentioned is the unique value proposition. And so, how is it that we stand out? What's so good about what it is that we have? So, part of mindset is really, first of all, believing in yourself. Number one, believing in yourself, knowing that you've done the due diligence and you've done the behind the scene work to have where your messaging is clear enough that people know what it is that you do, what it is that you have, what it is that is your product or your process, so that they then can rally around it. And I've had people tell me before, it's like, if I'm in a meeting or if someone's asking something of me, or if I have a boss or, a partner or whatever, if I'm not understanding what they're saying, then I can't get behind that. I have to be able to have clear instructions. And I've heard that before too. It's like, if I'm clear and if I'm like, wow, this is something that is a gotta have, then I'm going to go forward and do it. Or if I'm clear and it aligns with my own personal vision, then I can stand behind it because it's moving my personal vision forward while I'm helping to move you forward. Now, why is this important? There's only so much time in the day, and there's only so much resources, so many resources that we have. And so we have to be choosy. We have to pick and choose what it is that we're going to stand behind, how it is that we're going to spend our time. Okay. So doing this show and providing these resources and having where you are, excuse me, hopefully gaining some understanding of how you can use these concepts to move your life forward is the goal. And one of the ways to do that for Mindset Momentum, I always have a book that's sitting here. Today's book is Scale, and I've had this here before. This is Jeff Hoffman. Really love him, and hopefully he'll be coming in here soon as well. David Finkel and other people that, I have their books here so that we can go over some of the different concepts they have. And this says 7 proven principles to grow your business and get back your life. Proven principles to grow your business and get back your life. And so some people might be like, have I lost my life? You're saying get back my life, but it's time and money freedom. And so being able to have where you can scale your business to a point where you're on the right side of the cash flow quadrant, talk about that a lot. And I'll bring it up again and explain it just a little bit here in this show. But having where you've done that enough and put systems in place enough where you can work from anywhere and still have money coming in and do the things that you love. So this show is about mindset momentum, and we've already gone over several points already. The first one that we're digging into is the unique value proposition. And so one of the things is what makes you unique? How are you providing value to people? And then how are you able to articulate what that is? And so you've heard some people mention elevator speech. You've heard them mention that, there's a way for you to be able to simply and succinctly give a very, very brief explanation of what it is that you do, where it creates a need, it creates interest, where you get that factor of, oh, tell me more. Oh, tell me more. So I want you to write that down, is that part of your unique value proposition is where you have enough specificity as to how you are unique so that people say, oh, tell me more. Or they're just ready right away to stand behind what it is that you're doing. Now, I have some people, and this happens like all the time, year after year, different things that I'm doing. I'll say, I need to have 50 people to help me do X, Y, Z. Or I need you to meet me up here at 7:00 or whatever. So sometimes they'll all show up, and there'll be people who are like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, we're here. Didn't really understand all of what you were saying, but what are we doing? And it's because they found value in things that we've done before, or they know me and they know, the kinds of things that I do. And because they know and understand that it's going to be something that's going to be impactful. It's going to be something that they will get value out of, and the list can go on and on. That they just immediately stand behind it, and they come and then say, okay, wait, what is it we're doing again? And so sometimes it is where everything's all lined out, all outlined, but other times it's just like, hey, I need you here at XYZ time. And so mindset momentum. Part of this comes from having where you can build a history. And even if you haven't started anything with your business, and you're just starting. Part of it is getting those plans down, getting some clear goals, being very concise and clear on what you want those goals to be for your business, and then where you can wrap your mind around it, and then um, pass it by a few people, have where you discuss it with a few people to see, hey, does this make sense? What does this make you think or feel when you read these particular sentences, or when you see this kind of a plan? Does it sound clear to you? And if you're going to do that kind of review with people, make sure that you don't just do it with people that always agree with you. Make sure you do it with people who can really give you some honest feedback, okay? And it could be that they agree with you every time because it's just that good, or it could be that they agree with you because they want to make you happy, or they're just like, yes people. And so I'm not saying, that people agreeing with you is not good. I'm just saying that sometimes you do want to have people in your life that challenge you so that you can then think about things in a different way. And I'm facing that right now. There's some people that have been asking me some questions and giving some feedback, and I guess attempting right now myself to think about, okay, do I want to move forward with these people or not? And so part of it is has to do with the approach. Part of it has to do with how things have been articulated, and some of it has to do with timing. So when we say unique value proposition and standing out, and how can you provide value for people, some of it has to do with timing. Like, is this the right time for them, or is this the right time in my life to be doing this? And so another thing I want you to write down related to this is some of the unique value proposition has to do with if it's something that they need right now, or if it's something that they need in the future. It could be that it's great, it stands out, it's unique, but the timing is just not right because you're not able to deliver it in the time that they need it for. So these are all the different kinds of things that we need to think about when we talk about unique value proposition, and when we talk about mindset momentum, because part of our mindset has to be that we're wrapping it around all of the bigger vision things that we're doing and the little intricate details of what it is that we're doing. And so being able to have where we wrap our mind around what that is, write down how we're going to go about this so that we then have a plan that we can execute. Now, as I was just mentioning to my husband yesterday, sometimes best laid plans, sometimes they just don't work out because we're dealing with people, we're dealing with the economy, we're dealing with, different seasons of the year, we're dealing with a lot of different things, people's competencies. There's a lot of different factors that go into having something be a success and having it meet the exact timeline that we were hoping that it would meet. So as we get into some of these concepts, some more of these concepts, I want you to just think about the unique value proposition and think about what it is that you're planning to do in your next business venture, or what you're planning to do in the coming year, and see if you can come up with 2 or 3 things that are really, really unique about you. Now, the first example I gave, and we're going to just go to a little commercial break here to thank E360 TV and to show you about our awards program that's going to be coming up at the end of this year. One of the things that I talked about earlier was bread. So let's say we love flavor. Like, what's important to us in bread? Is it flavor? Is it the nutritional value? Is it having less carbs is very important to you? Is it important that it has seeds? Is it important that it's whole wheat? Is it important, that it's quality ingredients? Like, what's important? So based on you figuring out what's important first, then that will narrow down the products that you're going to look at related to the bread. So it automatically weeds out, any white bread. It automatically weeds out any generic brands. So it's just the white label that says bread, and it might automatically eliminate some of the ones that say, that they have um, honey, or, not just honey, but other sweeteners and things in them. All bread has some kind of sweetener in it for the most part. But if seeds or whole wheat is important to you, then that also narrows down. And even if it needs to be gluten-free, then that narrows it down again, right? So what is your unique value proposition? What is unique? What makes you stand out? So if we're talking about bread, we're getting it into a smaller and smaller niche area where there's certain breads that are going to appeal to you because of your criteria of what's important. So in your business, like I mentioned, and going into a new venture or a new business or a new year, first write down in general terms what's important. After you have written down what's important, then you can see how you're able to use the things that are important to come to a specific choice related to the bread. So when people are looking at what they need and you have a product or service, the first thing is, what do you think is important to people? So part of this is your benchmarking of your research. And when we say mindset momentum, wrapping your mind around the fact that you need to do some benchmarking is key. Wrapping your mind around the fact that maybe you need to have some other people help you with this is also key. Having a team is always better than going for it, related to all this yourself. And with a team, then you need to have contract and have NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and have where there is an understanding based on that contract that they're not going to go off and take, the research that they did for you and use it for themselves and start their own business and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a lot that goes into that, but that's not today's show. We're talking about mindset momentum. So when I talked about what's important for the bread and you are the consumer, it's the same of doing it the opposite way. So you do the benchmarking of what do you think would be important for potential clients or people that are going to be potentially using your product or service. And you do that by asking people. You do that by having focus groups. You do that by doing research, internet research and AI research on what is important to people related to something that might be the same or similar to what it is that you want to put out there in the market. And then based on what you want to put out there in the market, you then have where you see what makes what you have unique. What makes you unique, okay? And what makes your product or your service unique? Because there's already some things out there that are similar or might be the same, but not quite. And so why do you want to jump into an area that already has something that's similar? Well, it might be because you feel that what you have is better. It's quicker, it's faster, it's bigger, it's more efficient, it's more colorful, it's lighter weight, it withstands cold and hot, and all these different types of parameters that you could come up with. Or the business process is faster, it uses automation, it's simpler, it doesn't have as many mechanical parts, like whatever it is. And if it's a business process, it's all these different things that you can say as far as the features, advantages, and benefits. So that's the FAB portion. And if you've listened to me before, you've heard the word FAB and what that stands for. FAB, features, advantages, and benefits. Well, I make XYZ, and based on what's out there, there's plenty of studies on, the different things that have gone wrong or that customers don't like about it. However, my product does this, and this, and we've had 100 or 2,000, 5,000 case studies, and everyone has rated these particular features as being better than what's out there right now. And so I believe that you would like to have it as well. And so there's different ways that you can do that, and wrapping your mind around how you're going to do that and having a positive outlook and you believing in it first. That was one of the things I said is very, very extremely key. So mindset momentum, we can have momentum, where we move forward with the things that we want to have out in the world, if we just wrap our mind around having fun with the actual process of moving forward, having fun with the actual process of doing the benchmarking, having fun with the actual process of building and having a team and doing focus groups and all of those things, and related to unique value proposition, what makes me unique? And then standing behind what makes you unique, and doing your best to do that with excellence. So I'm going to play the commercial, as I mentioned, to thank E360 TV and to show you what we're doing with our awards the end of this year. And we will be right back to talk more about mindset momentum. Be right back. Hey, everybody. This is Dr. Crystal Richardson, and very extremely happy to be with you today on The World Speaks. If you're interested in being on this show, if you're interested in having a show and discussion on here yourself or being a guest here at the Uplift Center Studios, we would love to have you. We would also encourage you and would love to have your commercial played on here. We have a number of them that are getting lined up to be on and in between, various show segments. So we would love to do that for you. Or if you would even like to have where you come to the studio and film a particular session that we could play here, excuse me, on the network, that would be great as well. We are located here in Arizona. This is The World Speaks. So no matter where you are in the world, we would love to have where we talk to you about, what's going on in your part of the world. How are you making the world a better place? How are you using what God has placed inside of you to have impact? And then not just for yourself, but to create a generational wealth and generational legacy, because leaving something for the next and the next and the next is also very important to me. All right, so what we're talking about today is mindset momentum. mindset, momentum, and monetization and impact. And how do we do that? So the first thing that we kind of went into was UVP, the unique value proposition. And so what is unique about you, about your product, about your service, about what you do that makes you stand out? And so does it not, just stand out, but it's what people need, and it's the I gotta have it factor and oh tell me more factor. So I want you to write those down. I gotta have it, oh tell me more, because if you can get people to say that, then you're pretty far down the road of having where you have a good concept, a good business, and or a good process that will help provide some monetization for you, and then greater impact and all of that. So we went over UVP, the unique value proposition. What I want to talk about now is another part of mindset momentum is challenging yourself. Challenging yourself to grow your knowledge, grow your knowledge base. Challenge yourself to grow your knowledge base. So unique value proposition was the first thing we're talking about, and then challenge yourself to grow your knowledge base. And then we're going to talk about this a little bit, and then our last segment will be to get some concepts out of our book here. I always say that I want to make sure that I leave enough time for the book. So grow your knowledge base. So what do I mean by that? Again, with a number of my clients and students, delegates, different things that I'm in, always go into your day, go into your meeting, go into your event, your summit, whatever it is, walk into your home, always have an intention, okay? So the first thing is to have an intention. Based on that intention, wrapping your mind about how you want to move forward. We're talking about mindset, momentum. How we move ourselves forward is always having where we are growing our knowledge base. We are always in learning mode. So go ahead and write that down. Always be in learning mode. Always be in learning mode. Now, when we look at this statistically, there's all different kinds of studies out there, and we'll get into some of the statistics in the last part of our show, but all kinds of statistics out there about, whether it's a woman CEO or, people that do well, a high percentage of them have done well because they've had some kind of mentor or coach growing up, or, in their school or in their church or in outside sporting activities. They all have had some kind of mentor, so outside of their family, most likely. So statistics show that. And so having where, there's a person that can not just help you learn and you being in learning mode, but a person that can also move you forward, push you forward by having where you can bounce things off of them, and that helps you grow as well. So I'm mixing those two, being in learning mode. So always figuring out, okay, what is it that I want to do? Or what is it I want this product to do or this service to do? And what can I learn about it? How can I dig deeper, go the next level, peel back the next level of the onion on it, if you will, to be able to learn more about what's already out there or what other people are doing, or get a certificate in 2 or 3 various aspects of it, some kind of degree or certificate, so that you can then grow your knowledge base. And then based on those areas, have a mentor or coach that can also give you some insight. And those two together, excuse me, can definitely create mindset momentum, and it can create monetization momentum, impact momentum. You can put any word that you want to put behind, in front of the word momentum related to that. So growing your knowledge base. And so what does that do for your mind? It builds and it strengthens your mind, because you can then say, wow, I feel more confident. And when you have confidence, you're able to speak more clearly. See, we're getting back to, which way do I point? We're getting back to the 51 powerful piece of public speaking. The more confident you are about a subject, the more confident you are about what it is that you're doing and saying, it's easier for you to communicate that message. So Speaking, we keep coming back to speaking because it's so important, right? But we talked about unique value proposition. Now we're talking about growing your knowledge base and doing that by having where you see how you can learn more. Like, what is it that you are doing? What is it that you potentially need to know more on about the various aspects? And then getting into some kind of program, degree, certification so that you can move forward in that. All right. So that's the second part. So I am going to just show you the first commercial because it talks about the different things that we do related to speaking. And when we get back, we're talking about mindset momentum. We're going to get a few concepts out of this book before our show ends. We'll be right back. Hey, everyone. See, I picked up the book. We're all set here in our last few minutes to go over some things related to scale. Jeff Hoffman and David Finkel. So today's topic for our show is on mindset momentum. How do we move forward in our life, in our business, and those things that are important to us? How do we move forward and how do we wrap our mind around those concepts so that we can raise? Remember at the beginning of the show, I talked about the word raise, raise more money, raise or increase, the number of people on our team or the number of volunteers, raise our intentions so that we have better intentions and understanding our intentions going into any meeting, any conversation, watching any show, like, what is our intention? What do we want to gain? So once we have a purpose and we go into every single thing as an intention seeker, intention seeker, an intention doer. And what I mean by that is always seeking to make sure that you have an intention, one or two or three. And when I do conferences, I always have where I have people write down intentions. If they haven't already done that when they get ready to go in, like beforehand, then I have where we do it at the beginning so that I can also, as a facilitator, know that I'm doing my part of fulfilling, hopefully, a number of those intentions as we move forward. All right. So mindset momentum. The first thing we talked about was the unique value proposition. The next thing we talked about was increasing our knowledge base. And so the last thing we want to talk about for mindset momentum, we can move forward quicker if we wrap our mind around the word focus. And in this book, one of the chapters, there's several different ones that deal with the word focus. And the one I'm going to look at here, it's in part 2. And it starts out in part 2 saying focusing on fewer, better things, focusing on fewer and better things. So courage rather than analysis dictates the true importance. Make sure you can see the book here. Courage rather than analysis dictates the truly important rules for identifying priorities. Pick the future against the past. Pick the future against the past. Focus on opportunities rather than on problems. I'll say that again too. Focus on opportunities rather than problems. Choose your own direction rather than climb on the bandwagon. I'll say that again. Choose your own direction as opposed to climbing on the bandwagon. And aim high. Aim for something that will make a difference rather than something that is safe and easy to do. And that's by Peter Drucker. So that last part was aim high. Aim for something that will make a difference rather than for something that is safe and easy to do. Wow. So some of those I read more than once. What I'm going to do is just read all of it all together now, because this is at the beginning of that part 2, the beginning of the part 2 in this book, Scale. So, and then, because this is when they get into create the right strategy plan is what they give. But this is just the preface to it. And it's by someone else. It's by Peter Drucker. It's not by Jeff or David. So it says, focusing on fewer, better things is the name of this area. It says courage rather than analysis dictates the true important rules for identifying priorities. Pick the future against the past. Focus on opportunity rather than problems. Choose your own direction rather than climbing on the bandwagon. And aim high. Aim for something that will make a difference rather than something that is safe and easy to do. So in mindset momentum, this is saying focusing on fewer, better things. So part of this is, let me just put this book back right here. There we go. So part of this is, ladies and gentlemen, is how do we focus? And fewer things allows us mindset momentum because we don't have all of the distractions. We don't have so many different things that we're trying to do that we can't gain momentum in any one area because there's so many different things going on. So of course I'm speaking to myself too, because I have a number of different initiatives that I'm involved in, but part of it has to do with all of the areas of life. And I have pared down. I do plan on paring down on things for this coming year. But some things will still remain. So the different things that I do, like right now, we're getting ready for a parade. And part of that is the physical fitness portion of it, because we're dancing for 3 miles straight. So there's rehearsals to dance in the parade, first of all. So those are fitness rehearsals, and people are in here like about to pass out. And they're just really going forward and like, oh my gosh, but then when it's time, it's going to be for 3 miles that we're going full out, doing the different dance moves. Woo! And turning, and we're not flipping, but we're doing all these different things. So yeah, so you'll see that there'll be health initiatives that I have, and then different things related to writing. This is going to be a year for me of literary work, a year of literary work. And so that is a way for us to create legacy, create some another income stream, wealth stream, and have where we're able to impact lives. So impact is very important to me. And so having where I'm helping other people to create impact as well, that's part of what you'll see. And then general things related to the rest of what I do in business. And then also my spiritual life. So you'll see different things related to various Christian programs and dance related to that, and ministry. I teach at a Bible Institute. And so, yeah, so a lot of that is for me all related. But what I'm doing is anything that's outside of those, looking to see, is this something that I can do this year, or am I going to say, I need to take a year sabbatical, or I need time, till after the first quarter, and then I'll get back with you on XYZ. So or there's some different annual events that go on that I may or may not be participating in this coming year, because I'm focusing on this being a year of literary work for myself, and also helping other people to do the same. So part of mindset momentum is giving your mind enough room to be able to focus and really put a lot of energy towards the things that we're saying are important. So part of that is writing down what's important for you in your business, what's important for this product, what's important for this year, what's important for your family, what's important for your health, what's important for your finances. What are the things that are important, so that you can then move those things forward? All right. So I hope that you got something out of today's show related to mindset momentum, unique value proposition, having where we increase our knowledge base. And then the last main point was related to focus, and focusing on fewer, better things. And that statement in the Scale book, in Jeff Scale book, was really, really good, about how it said to aim high, and not to just jump on the bandwagon, and don't necessarily just do what's safe. Challenge yourself. It didn't use the word challenge, but challenge yourself so that you can have a greater impact. I hope you have a really, really great day. I would love to have you up as a part of The World Speaks, and to do some things here in our studio with us, or to have your commercial on, or to be a special guest, or to be a host of your own segment. We are really looking forward to launching what we're going to be doing here during the month of January. You all have a really, really blessed day. And remember, which way am I supposed to point? Over here. To pick up my book, The 51 Powerful Pieces of Public Speaking. You all have a great, 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 great day. Be blessed, and remember, let's keep rising together.